Hey everybody, Dr. Chris Dost here. Welcome back to my channel, Biblical Languages and Literature. In this video, we're going to be looking at the D stem, or what some grammars will call the Pael stem. So the D stem, or Pael stem, third masculine singular, suffix conjugation verbs. And so far in this series, we have looked at all G stem verbs. Now we are going to shift over to the D stem, as it's used all the time. We just have to know this. In the course of this and the following videos, we'll make comparisons to the G stem so that you are able to distinguish one from the other. But in this video, we're just going to focus principally on D stem, third masculine singular, suffix conjugation verbs. Now, before we get started, please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're heading on towards 10,000 subscribers. I'm absolutely amazed at how much support this channel has been getting over the last few years. And so we're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers. And since most of you are not yet subscribers, please consider doing so as we're trying to hit that 10,000 mark. More importantly, I'd appreciate it if you would click like on this video to help with the algorithm. It helps get the word out about the channel. And if you're interested in seeing this video in its entirety, go over to my Patreon page. The link is in the description down below. And supporting me on Patreon enables me to keep producing these videos. Because believe it or not, just posting videos about Biblical Hebrew and Biblical Aramaic on YouTube doesn't actually pay my bills. So if you can support me on Patreon in any way, shape, or form, that would be awesome. All right, let's get to it. So what are the characteristics of D stem verbs in Biblical Aramaic? Well, the first thing is that we are going to see an A-I vowel pattern. That is to say, an A-class, I-class vowel pattern. Now, sometimes that A-class vowel might be a long vowel or a short vowel, but the paradigmatic form is the short A vowel. We should expect a patach, but in certain word environments, we are going to end up with a kamatz. We'll talk about that later. But typically, we expect a short A verb with a patach. The second vowel of the root, or the theme vowel, we would say, should be an I-class vowel. Now, sometimes that might be an I-type or an E-type. We are going to encounter both. But for now, just try to remember that Pael verbs have an A-I vowel pattern, A-class, I-class vowel pattern. Secondly, and most conspicuously, the second or the middle root consonant, the second of the three root consonants, will have a dagesh in it in most circumstances. And it has a dagesh because that middle root consonant is doubled. This is something we see in other Semitic languages in the corresponding verb forms. Arabic has it in the D stem, Hebrew has it in the D stem, and so we expect to see that in Aramaic as well. Now, again, there's going to be certain environments where that dagesh will not appear. We'll look at least one example of that today, but generally speaking, with the Pael verbs, you're going to have the A-class, I-class vowel pattern and a dagesh in the middle root consonant. All right, let's look at some verb forms as they appear in the Tanakh. All right, so in this video, we only have one form from Ezra, and that is in Ezra 6:12, and the form is shakin, shakin. It's the third word of the verse. So you can see that there are three root consonants, shin, kaf, nun. There is a patach, chirik vowel pattern, A, I vowel pattern, and a dagesh inside the kaf. This is a D stem verb. And since there are no prefixes or suffixes, it is a D stem third masculine singular, D stem third masculine singular, suffix conjugation verb. And so that form is shakin, which means, in this case, it means to cause to dwell, to cause to dwell. Some of you might know the form or the word Shekinah from Hebrew, Shekhinah, we would say in Hebrew. Okay, it's related to this root. Even the Arabic word sakin, so if you want to say in Levantine Arabic, if you want to say, I live in Jerusalem, you could say, Ana sakin, that's one way to say it, Ana sakin fil Quds. Ana sakin fil Quds. So the form sakin, which is technically a participle in Palestinian Arabic, but it comes from the same root. In Biblical Hebrew and Biblical Aramaic, shin, kaf, nun. In Aramaic, it's sin. In Palestinian Arabic, the shin of Aramaic and Hebrew is a sin, but it's the same word root essentially, just with the necessary modifications made. So shakin here means he caused to dwell. He, because it's third person masculine singular, he caused to dwell. All right, now let's read Ezra 6:12 and just get a little bit of practice. And as we read through these verses, we're going to look for forms that we already know from previous videos so that we can build on our previous learning. All right, so let's get started. Ezra 6:12 here. All right, so it starts, Velaha di shakin shme tama, which literally means, and God, Elaha, the God, and the God, or now the God, di shakin, who caused to dwell, di shakin, shme, who caused his name to dwell. So far we just have, now the God who caused his name to dwell there, yimagal, may he overthrow, yimagal, may he overthrow, kol melech, any king, or every king, kol melech, ve'am, and every people, so the kol applies to both melech and ve'am, every king and people, or any king and people, di yishlach yedei, who sends his hand, or who puts out his hand, yedei, lehashnaya, literally to alter or to change, lehashnaya. And then we have to kind of put a conjunction in, or, lechabala, to destroy, lechabala, beit elaha, the house of God, the house of God. So beit is a construct noun, the house of. Elaha, this is Allah plus the definite article, literally the God, the house of the God. Dech, the house of this God, or this house of God. Di Virushalem, which is in Jerusalem. Di means which here. Virushalem means in Jerusalem. The preposition ba with Yerushalem, Jerusalem. The beit does not have a dagesh in it, that hardening dot, because di ends in a vowel and has a conjunctive accent, the accent munach. And please note that Virushalem has the atnach under the lamed there, and so that's a natural place for a break. And lo and behold, with ana, a new clause begins. So ana is the independent first common singular pronoun, meaning I. It's a subject pronoun. Daryavish is a personal name, I, Darius. And then it goes on to say, ana Daryavish, I, Darius, samet te'em, make a decree. Make a decree, samet te'em. Samet is a G-stem first common singular suffix conjugation of the root sin yud mem. So we've seen that before. It's a hollow verb. Sin yud mem, first common singular. The tav suffix is what we expect for a first common singular suffix conjugation. I make a decree, or have made a decree. And we see that te'em has the zakef katan there. So there's going to be a pause. I have made a decree, asparna yit avid. Let it be done with all diligence. Literally, diligently let it be done. Diligently let it be done. Let it be done with all diligence. All right, so how did you do there? Do you feel like you have a handle on at least portions of the Aramaic of Ezra 6:12? Now, we haven't learned all of the grammatical forms that are in here yet, so you're not expected to know that. But did you recognize the form samet from the previous videos? If you didn't, go back and look at that video. Were you able to see that in Virushalem it begins with the preposition ba? Did that at least ring a bell? Did you notice that elaha has the, well, I said the definite article before. We should properly say that it's in the determined state. It has the mark of determination at the end, that aleph. So the base form is Allah. The mark of determination is the aleph at the end. But whether or not you recognized these grammatical aspects or not, whether or not you recognize some of the vocabulary words, at the very least, I want you to come away from this portion of the video understanding that shakin, with the AI vowel pattern and the dagesh in the middle root consonant kaf indicates that shakin is a third masculine singular D stem, Pael, suffix conjugation verb of the root shin, kaf, nun. Thanks so much for checking out this video today. Just a reminder that the full video is available on my Patreon page. So if you want to hear the entire discussion, just head on over there. The link is in the description down below. Let's quickly have a look at this verse in the Leningrad Codex. I've included the printed edition in the corner of the screen here so that you can compare and contrast them, but I want you to get used to trying to read from the Codex itself. Also, I want you to note that the word shakin has a cercilis over it, which indicates that there is a corresponding Masora Parva note. And if you look over to the left, you'll see lamed, and then the abbreviation or the shortened abbreviated form, v'chaser, and defective. In other words, it doesn't have a vowel letter. It doesn't use the consonant yud for the vowel I. Sometimes that's going to happen in the D stem suffix conjugation verbs where the I vowel will, instead of being a chirik, it will be a chirik yud. And so chirik is the defective form, chaser. Chirik yud would be the plane form, or in Hebrew, the malay form. So what the Masorah is saying is that this form occurs once and it is defective. That is to say, it has chirik, not chirik yud. And so it's drawing attention to a spelling convention. Okay, the next form we're going to look at is the word katil, which occurs in Daniel 3:22, and katil, which occurs toward the end of the verse, it's 5 words from the end, comes from the root kuf tet lamed, kuf tet lamed. You can see here that it has the AI vowel pattern with the vowels patach and chirik, and there is a dagesh inside the middle root consonant tet, and so it really looks just like shakin. If you take shakin and you substitute the root consonants shin, kaf, nun for kuf tet lamed, you end up with exactly the same form, katil.